Hey, that's me, Gerald Franks. I love backpacking and I've decided to backpack the Colorado Trail, but I'm going to be doing it a bit differently than most. Since I don't have the time to take 4 or 5 weeks off from my job, I've decided to break it up in 100-mile sections over the course of a week for the next 5 years. I've done plenty of backpacking over the last 10 years, but typically for 3 to 4 nights and at the most 40 miles. This would be a completely new adventure and next step in my backpacking evolution. This is my story. Hey guys, as I've been, as I've been finishing up segment 4 and starting into segment 5 here, and just coming to the close of my day, I've got nothing but time to think about stuff. So I thought about, what are the 4 most satisfying moments while going through a through hike or a section hike or even a long backpacking trip. This is definitely the longest that I've been out on the trail, and there's definitely some new things that I've experienced. Just thought I would share them with you. All right, coming at number 4 is take a poop. That's right, I said it. Going to the bathroom, taking a poop, especially if it can be early in the morning. All right, at number 3, what I would say that I've experienced so far is my long 1-hour siesta lunches during the day. So around lunchtime, I've hiked probably about 8 or 9 miles, and I have loved finding a nice little stream, a couple of trees, and while I'm cooking up my a hot meal, I'm hanging out in my hammock and just relaxing and taking about an hour break. Totally get rejuvenated, re-energized, and I love it. I think that is something I'll definitely be planning for future through hikes or just long section hikes. Number 2, most satisfying thing on a through hike is what I would say when you come to your last climb of the day. You've been hiking all day. Maybe you've hiked 15, 20, however many miles. But when you come to that last hill that you have to climb for that day, man, that is a satisfying feeling. And coming in at number 1, the number 1 most satisfying thing for me on a through hike is that feeling when you get into camp, you've already had your meal, all your chores are done, camp is set up, it's put down, and for me, climbing into my hammock, got my nice warm under quilt underneath me. I got a top quilt on top of me. Just, it's cool enough that you want a top quilt, but not cold enough where your hands are like freezing, and you got your tarp over you, and a storm is coming through, and it's raining, and you're watching an episode of one of your favorite TV shows that you've downloaded on your phone. That is one of the most satisfying things to me what you're doing while you're on a through hike. All right, here's a little bit of view of camp life. It was raining, so I went ahead and set up my tarp and everything. But one of the nicer campsites here because I'm right on the creek, which is great. You get water and just the noise. It's very relaxing. But yeah, this is it. Got my backpack, tarp, hammock gear tarp, Dutch chameleon, hammock. Alright, so here's a little closer look. So what you'll see here is I have the hammock gear 20-degree underquilt, which has worked great. Even when it's been like 50 or 60, I think it's been working really well. It's got a nice little pouch right here where I put my extra clothes at. Just be able to store it above my head. I can even put my quilt up there, which is Enlightened Equipment 30-degree quilt. If it gets too hot, I just shove it up in this little pouch, which is great. I got a little hammock organizer. I just keep a lot of electronics, stuff like that. Pillow, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Morning, folks. It is day 5 on segment 5. Got off to a little bit of a late start this morning. I actually slept in till 7, which felt good. It was cold last night, cold this morning, and I did not want to get out of my nice warm hammock. So I didn't get out of camp until 9 o'clock, but it's turned out to be a beautiful morning, and only have about 9 more miles of segment 5, and then I'll be done with that one. May not be a long mileage a day, maybe only 12, maybe 15, we'll see. Legs are feeling okay, at least right now, but it's a beautiful day. Hopefully getting into more of an open area, see some more views. Saw a hint of that yesterday through the storm of some snow-capped mountains off in the distance. Had burning up, scorching temps. I've had cool weather. Now, as you can see on the ground, I've got hail. Hopefully it's not too big. I don't think it'll be too big of a storm. Hopefully it's passing through, but yep, got a little bit of hail walking through. Here we are. End of segment 5, which ends here at Kenosha Pass. It intersects with Highway 285. So, first real civilization I've seen in a while. I was hoping there might be some kind of store close by, but I would love a Coke. I am dying for a Coke, just so you know. But end of segment 5. Segment 5 was beautiful. Here, segment 6 is great. We're going to take our time and enjoy it. It's absolutely stunning. out here. It's overcast, you know, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It could be beating down, the sun could be beating down on me, but it's nice overcast. And these are just some of the views that I'm getting to enjoy. Oh, it is spectacular. So that there's the aspen forest I just came out of. And the more and more I head west, the more and more beautiful it is. So we got about a few miles left today, and then we're going to be setting up camp and calling it a night. Miles in, nice little creek area. Wow, it's called Jefferson Creek. Yeah, might actually soak my feet in that. That is nice. Actually ran into a guy named Moonwalker at lunch today, and he told me about this place. Said he's going to stop here later tonight, and so I'm just going to set up camp, find a nice spot, and relax for the evening. Alright, so the campsites just keep getting better and better as we head out west. So a nice little spot here tucked in right on the creek. Has not gotten any better than this. So, morning folks. Day 6 out here on the Colorado Trail. And it's another bright, beautiful, blue, sunshiny morning. So here's the skinny on today. I'm getting out around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Just couldn't get up. So warm in my hammock, you know, just didn't want to get up. And segment 6 is a long segment. It's about 32.7 miles, I think, total. And so we hiked in about 6 miles yesterday. When I say we, I mean Moonwalker and myself. Found a hiking buddy, camping buddy last night. He's already off ahead. Hopefully I'll catch up with him later today. But we hiked in about 6 miles last night, setting camp. So we're hoping to go maybe 20 miles today. We'll see. So we are going to the top of Georgia Pass. And again, that's probably another 4.5 miles. And that is where we hike into the top of the Continental Divide. This is the one thing I love about passes here in Colorado. You know, you're enjoying the beauty of one side as you're coming up and thinking, wow, this is amazing, this is beautiful. Then you get to the other side and it's just a whole nother beauty. And so now it's gonna be mostly downhill. I will have a few little mountains to climb as I'm coming down, but you can see what you probably can because it's far away. Way on down there is Breckinridge. Yeah, that's where we're headed. Won't get there today. Get there early, probably tomorrow around noon. All right. So segment 6, the east side, is now done. Now that I've gotten over Georgia Pass, over the Continental Divide. Now I've got about 20 miles left. 20 miles left to finish segment 6. Luckily, most of that is downhill. But I won't be doing all that today. I've hiked 6 so far, and my hope is to hike another 16 and get to the campsite where I'll only be 4 miles from the trailhead where Nancy and the kids will pick me up. So I figured, let's go big day. It's a beautiful day. It's mostly downhill now. That 6 up was really nothing at all. The elevation gain was 2,000 feet, but it was very gradual, so not too hard at all. So we're going to shoot for that today, hopefully. And hopefully if, my feet continue to feel well and shoulders continue to feel well, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, I just saw lightning pop and the thunder. And so I'm hoping that storm is moving away from us, maybe. Either way, I'm heading down elevation, so that's good. But, whew. So after you embrace the suck for a little bit, the showers pass, the sun comes out. Get to enjoy that. But Colorado Trail has not disappointed. Every day has just gotten better. Today, it was pouring down rain, and I was like, oh, this is just miserable. I was even thinking about, if this is a big storm coming through, then you know what, I just may go ahead and walk into town and get a hotel for the night. But the storm passed, and then the clearing opened up so you could look into the town, and it was just beautiful. It was just absolutely gorgeous. The way the clouds were, the way the sun was hitting the town. So definitely a great way to end the day. All right, good morning. Day 7. Yep, day 7, and only about 3.5 miles to go until I finish segment 6. Nancy will be picking me up. Got my last climb for this trip. Nothing big though, but enough to get you out of breath. So, yeah, a little sad this morning, a little bittersweet, I guess. This is the last morning on the trail. Say goodbye to Moonwalker this morning. It's good to meet up with him, get to hear his stories, have somebody at camp to talk to, and somebody to meet up on the trail. But awesome experience. Love doing it. First couple of days stunk because I was overheated. Probably a little heat exhaustion there. But every day has gotten better and better. Today is another beautiful morning. And I'll be looking forward to coming back and doing another 100 miles next year. See you, Colorado Trail. Oh, welcome to Breckinridge. See some of the ski slopes up there. Must be on the outskirts of town here. You can hear the road. There's Highway 9. I'll be there in a minute. All right, folks, this is where my journey ends. Into segment 6. Right here is the beginning of segment 7. We're not doing that now. We'll tackle that in another 100 miles in another day. All right, my overall impressions of segment 5 and segment 6. 2 words: stunningly beautiful. Segment 5, you kind of start off in a wooded forest, which was nice, but then you come out as you're coming up to Kenosha Pass. You come out of the forest and the views begin to open up, and it's kind of rolling hills, and you see the mountains in the background, and you do walk through a few alpine forests, which is wonderful, and it was beautiful. Segment 6 is probably one of my top 3, top 5 segments for the entire trail. You're starting at the Kenosha Pass trailhead, and you begin walking through this alpine forest, and then after a few miles you come out, and again it just begins to open up, and you can see Georgia Pass of where you're heading, and you can see this ranch land that's just flat and expansive off to the south, and the mountain range behind it, and it was absolutely beautiful. And segment 6 had one of my favorite campsites there on Jefferson Creek, about 6 miles in. And then after that, you're hiking up to Georgia Pass, which was a beautiful hike, and you're coming over Georgia Pass, and then you see Breckinridge, and you see the snow-capped mountains in the background, and it was stunningly beautiful coming up and over that pass and heading down into Breckinridge. And then I experienced a pretty bad thunderstorm, as you heard on the video, and that sucked for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. But then once the storm passed through and the clouds kind of broke, it was late in the afternoon and the sun was just shining down into the valley. And again, it was just a kind of a beautiful moment on segment 6 that I'll always remember. So segment 5 and segment 6 was a great way to end my trip, end my 100 miles for the year 2019, and I can't wait to tackle the next 100 miles in 2020.